Bracket time. How far is Arizona going to go? National title, and we're going to have a lot of Big 12 talk as well.
You are Locked On Wildcats, your daily podcast on the Arizona Wildcats. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks for keeping it Locked On Wildcats, your team every day. And making it your first listen of the day. The show is brought to you today by Nissan, the 2025 Nissan Altima. Stay with us for the Armada Team of the Week later in this episode. Okay. The NCAA tournament is here, my friends. The NCAA tournament is here, and we're going to break that down. We're going to talk about how far we see Arizona going. Cooper flag. We are going to talk a ton of different things about just what we need to be able to do with for Arizona to go and who that national championship pick is going to be, because I know that a lot of people here are hanging with bated breath waiting to see exactly who that would be. And again, but anyways, let's talk about Arizona first, because we're going to get to that. Let's talk about Arizona as well. The first thing is Akron. A lot of people are talking about Akron, and they're saying to themselves, Akron shoots a lot of threes. And not only does Akron shoot a lot of threes, we should be worried about Akron because Arizona doesn't defend the three. Here's kind of where I'm at when it comes to Akron. Here's kind of where I'm at with the University of Arizona. If this comes down to a situation where if Arizona loses to Akron because you're giving up a whole bunch of open threes, then Arizona didn't deserve to be able to be there in the first place. I'm gonna stand by that. Akron is very small. Their tallest guy is 6'7". The line is now 14.5 points. If you can't win that game, well, quite frankly, you didn't deserve to win that game. Okay, and that's just kind of where I am at with that. Now, then after that, I think Liberty's going to beat Oregon. That's one that I feel pretty good about. And like I said, I feel fairly good that Liberty's going to beat Oregon. It would be Arizona and Liberty in the round of 32. And again, that's kind of where I'm at with when it comes to Arizona. If you can't beat Liberty, then again, what are we doing here? You're just kind of at a spot where it's like, all right, well, whatever. Now, the couple other things too that we need to talk about is what would that lineup be if Arizona were to play Duke? And if Arizona were to play Duke, then it becomes very interesting because Cooper Flag, I refuse to believe that Cooper Flag is fully healthy. I know that I'm supposed to believe that Cooper Flag is healthy because, the Duke folks said that he's healthy, but again, that's going to be what they're going to do. They are going to say that he is healthy and that he's going to be good to go. But just because he's out there on the court doesn't necessarily mean that Arizona is that you're going to be getting the full Cooper Flag that we saw at McHale earlier this year. Just don't necessarily see that one being the case. But that is going to be an interesting one. If Cooper Flag isn't healthy, Arizona's got a real chance there. And we're going to break this one down in the bracket. We're going to talk a little bit about how this is all going to play out. And again, I am a homer, so we are going to I will be going accordingly here. So let's kind of go with what we see here first. In the first round, again, we're going east. We're going in the east. We're going with St. Mary. We're starting the one that everybody cares about, and that's Arizona. So Duke, I'm going to have Duke coming out of that first round. I know, hard to believe. Then after that, I'm going to have Baylor beating Mississippi State. I think there's a lot of overrated teams in the SEC that just aren't that good. I don't think Baylor's that good, but at the same time, I think that they're going to be able to beat Mississippi State. Then after that, I am going to go Liberty over Oregon. And I think there's a lot to look at and say why is Liberty going to beat Oregon? Because I think that Liberty's just better. I don't watched a lot of Oregon this year, and I don't think that they're that good. I really don't. I watched them, and I just kind of come away thinking that Jackson Shellstad's good, Nate Biddle is good, but at the end of the day, It just kind of is what it is. We'll see how that plays out. But I'm going Liberty in that one. I am going Liberty. And then after that, we got BYU. I got BYU beating VCU. And then I got Wisconsin beating Montana. And then I got St. Mary's beating Vanderbilt and Alabama beating Robert Morris. So then let's get to that next round. And again, I am a homer. So again, if you sit here and say, oh, Mike, I'm telling you, take all of this with a grain of salt. Do what you will with it. Then I've got Duke and Baylor. I've got Duke beating Baylor and getting to the Sweet 16. Then I've got Liberty and Arizona, and I have Arizona coming out of that game. I got Arizona getting to the Sweet 16 as well. Then I got BYU beating Wisconsin. I think BYU is a better version of Wisconsin. I watch BYU. They're clicking on all cylinders. I love what Kevin Young is doing there. He's been really, really good. I've got Alabama over St. Mary's. Think that's kind of where it's at. I got Alabama over St. Mary's. And then after that, I am going to pick Arizona because I don't think the Cooper Flag is healthy. I've got Arizona beating Duke because I don't think Cooper Flag is going to be healthy. And again, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Cool. These are my picks. And then I've got Alabama beating BYU. And then I got Arizona getting to the Final Four, baby. That's what we're going to do around here. So that is my East bracket. Now, we've got let's get down to the Midwest. Houston. I've got Houston beating SIU Edwardsville. I don't even know where that is, but I've got them beating SIU Edwardsville. Then I've got Gonzaga beating Georgia. And then after that, I've got, let's see here. I got McNeese State beating Clemson. They're not as good as last year, but I like Will Wade a great deal. I think he's an awesome coach. I'm going to go with that one. Then I got Purdue over High Point. Although a lot of people are predicting High Point to win that game. I don't necessarily see it, but High Point is very good. Then I got Xavier. Beating Illinois. I think Xavier is going to beat Texas, and then I got Xavier beating Illinois. Then I got Kentucky over Troy, and then I've got let's see here. We've got UCLA, and then we got Tennessee again. So put all of these down for you. And then I got Houston beating Gonzaga. I'm giving you a little bit of a heads up. I think Houston's going to win it all. That's my pick, but I think Houston is going to win it all. And then you got Purdue. I got Purdue over McNeese State. But I could also see Purdue, like I said, getting bounced there early. Then we got Kentucky over Xavier, my friend. Kentucky over Xavier. And then Tennessee over UCLA or Utah State, one of the two. And then I got Houston smashing Purdue, and then I got Kentucky beating Tennessee. And then I think Houston will smack the heck out of Kentucky, and they will get to the Final Four, where it will be a rematch against the University of Arizona. So that's going to be an interesting one to see how that does play out. But overall, like I said, the Arizona one's probably a homer pick. I don't care. I do think Houston is the best team. I am picking Houston to win it all. And so I do stand by that one. Listen, I think Houston is the best combination of physicality, of strength, of skill, of basically everything that, some schools just don't have. I'm a big fan of Houston and what Kelvin Sampson has done there. I think he's done a remarkable job. And honestly, Kelvin Sampson, he's a guy that likes Arizona. He likes Tommy Lloyd, and that goes a long way. Now, on the other side of the bracket, there's going to be a couple surprises here that I think are going to be very, very fascinating to see how these do all play out. But first, Nissan, my friends. Nissan. Okay, the Armada Team of the Week is brought to you by our friends at Nissan and the all-new 2025 Nissan Armada. Okay, this week's Armada and Team of the Week is the Arizona Wildcats. I liked how they played against the big in the Big 12 tournament. I think they're playing some of their best ball of the season. And again, each week our Locked On experts are picking one team that stands out. This is an Arizona broadcast, so I'm going with Arizona. When it comes to the Nissan Armada, they say go forth and conquer, and that's exactly what the Arizona Wildcats have done here. And again, here's the cool thing about it. It's just like our team of the week is out here all ready to conquer the road ahead with confidence. Just like you can in the all-new Nissan Armada or any Nissan outstanding vehicles, take the Nissan Armada, Rogue, or Pathfinder and go find your next big adventure. Shop Nissan USA. Nissan USA. Again, the cool thing about Nissan as well is that I have a Nissan. I have a friend that got a Nissan, and it was they are very, very happy about how that played out, and it was the Nissan Armada as well. So yes, we will. Like I said, you will thank me later on this. Okay, now got one more here. We got a fabric. Here's the other cool thing here. Life moves fast. I mean, that's something that we all know in life. Life does move fast. And there's a lot of things that are unexpected, especially when you have a family. One day you're watching your kids take their first steps, and before you know it, they're off to college. I mean, it's one thing, it seems like they're born, and then, then they're off. That's why securing their future is so important. Fabric by Gerber Life makes it simple to get term life insurance that fits your family's needs. With Fabric, you can apply for term life insurance right from your couch. It's super easy. You don't have to go visit with like 35 different people or anything like that. You can just do it. And again, it gives you the peace of mind, gives you affordable coverage, and beyond life insurance. Join thousands of parents who trust Fabric to help protect their families. Apply today in just a minute at meetfabric.com/lockedoncollege. That's meetfabric.com/lockedoncollege. Again, the cool policies issued by Western Southern Life Insurance Company. Not available in certain areas. Prices subject to underwriting and health concerns. Again, check it out. Fabric. Like I said, life moves at you fast. Get this one taken care of for you. Thanks for keeping it locked on Wildcats and making this your first listen of the day. I am your host, Mike Luke. Now, we need to talk a little bit about where we are with the other side of the bracket. A big thing is, obviously, I picked Arizona to come the Final Four, and again, you're going to probably get some people who are like, oh, you're a homer. Don't care. Standing by it. Don't care. Okay, so now let's go to the other side then. All right, and again, I'm going to go on an SEC rant here for a second. There's so many fake good teams in the SEC. If I have to keep hearing about how great the SEC is, then whatever. It's annoying. But, and we're going to find out come tournament time. All right, I got Auburn winning in that first round game. Doesn't even matter who they're playing. Then after that, I got Louisville over Creighton. Louisville being an 8 seed to me was odd, to put it mildly. Then I've got San Diego over Michigan. I don't think much of Michigan. Every time I watch them, they look slow. They look unathletic. They look plodding. I am not impressed by Michigan. And then I've got Texas A&M over Yale. I'd love to be able to pick Yale there, but I think A&M's a little better, and A&M doesn't even really do that much for me. Then I got Ole Miss over SDSU or UNC. This is an interesting one for me because, again, Ole Miss is Chris Beard is just a really, really good coach. I'm curious where he is next year, but that's where I'm going with that one. And then I'm going Iowa State. Iowa State is a real bummer for me because it's too bad that Keyshawn Gilbert's out, because I think if he was healthy that they would be a real problem. But it doesn't sound like he's healthy. Doesn't sound like he's going to play. So that's a bummer. But I would have probably picked Iowa State out of this region, quite frankly. Then after that, I got Marquette over. Actually, I'm going New Mexico. I got New Mexico over Marquette, and then I've got Michigan State. I got Michigan State in that one. Then I got Michigan State advancing over that next one. Then I've got, I got Iowa State there as well. Again, I would have picked Iowa State to win it all had they been fully healthy, but again, they're not fully healthy, so it is what it is. Then San Diego, I got San Diego beating A&M. And then I've got Auburn, beating San Diego, Auburn playing Michigan State, and Michigan State going on to the Final Four. Auburn's lost 3 of 5. So the people out there that are making it out like, Auburn is this invincible team, again, they're really, really good. Bruce Pearl has also only been to one has also only been to one, final or one Final Four, and I think one Elite Eight and one other Elite Eight in his 25 years of coaching. So that's something that I am going to hold against them to a certain degree. And then in the next one, we've got, let's see, in the next one here, we got Florida. This is going to be an interesting one. I got Florida beating Norfolk State. Then I got UConn. I don't love having to play UConn in the second round if I'm Florida. I just don't. Again, I realize that it's a shell of its former self, but Danny Hurley's the man. Liam McNeely is a beast. They've still got a lot of talent over there, and I would not want to play them. I got Colorado State over Memphis. I got Maryland over Grand Canyon. I really wanted to pick Grand Canyon, but I can't. Then I've got Missouri over Drake, although I could see Drake winning that game. Actually, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go Drake. I'm picking Drake to win that one. Then I've got, let's see, I've got Texas Tech winning. I've got Missouri over Grand Canyon. Then I got Drake and Texas Tech. I got Texas Tech winning that one. Then I got Kansas, Arkansas. I got Kansas. I think Arkansas stinks, and I don't think Calipari is very good. Never have. Then St. John's. I got St. John's winning that one too. All right, now going back down. Then I got Florida over UConn, and I feel pretty good about that. Although, like I said, wouldn't love to have that one as my matchup. Then I got Maryland. I got Maryland playing Colorado State, and then I got Maryland winning that one. Then I got Tech, and I got Tech beating Drake. And then I got St. John's beating Kansas. Okay, then it gets interesting. Then I got Florida beating Maryland. Then I've got Texas Tech beating St. John's, although that one doesn't make me feel good because, again, I like, like I said, I'm a massive Rick Pitino fan. I think he's the National Coach of the Year, but I got Texas Tech winning that one. Then I got Texas Tech beating Florida. And then after that, I have Texas Tech making the national championship game, and I have them playing Houston in that game. So that to me is going to be a fun one. That's going to be one that's going to be one that's going to be fun to watch. I think that the Big 12 is going to perform absolutely fantastic in this entire conference, in this entire I look at it and I think that the Big 12 is still criminally underrated. I really do. And watching them, I also think that you're thinking to yourself that this is a team. These are two Big 12 squads that can be, there's a number of Big 12 squads that are really, really good. And I think you're going to see 3 or 4 of them in the NCAA tournament. That's kind of where I'm at this point. I think it's going to be fascinating. But overall, I think the Big 12, and then I think Houston's going to win it all. I think Houston is the best team in college basketball. I think they are the team. Listen, I think they've got the best combination of coach and talent going. I think that was Duke before Cooper Flagg got hurt. The problem, though, is that Cooper Flagg did get hurt, and I just refuse to believe, watching that injury, that Cooper Flagg is fully good to go. And, if he is good to go and there's no problems, then Duke's the best team. But you know what? I can't go off that. I'm going with what Houston is doing. I like Houston in that one. I also think that, like I said, I think this is going to be a very, very interesting game for 4 teams. And again, we'll find out how this plays out, but I think Houston is going to be the best team going in there. And I'm going to then go on a little bit of a rant about some teams that got kind of screwed in this entire process. But first, Upwork. Upwork. Scaling your business requires the right expertise at the right time. With Upwork, you can find specialized freelancers in marketing, development, design, and more. Experts ready to help take your business to the next level. Upwork is great. Upwork gives businesses flexibility by connecting them with top freelance talent across multiple industries, including IT, AI, web development, and marketing. Everybody can use something like this. We're in the new world. We're in the new age. Whether you need extra hands for a project or a long-term partner, Upwork makes hiring simple and affordable. Again, finding the right talent, that's a big part of all of this. How many people are if you're a business developer or whatever, and you can't find the right talent because you don't have time to be able to do that. Not only do you not have time to be able to do that, you don't want to have to really worry about it. So again, I get it. It's fast and easy hiring. Again, cost-effective growth as well. And instead of hiring full-time, Upwork now affordable top-tier freelancers to scale the business more efficiently. Visit Upwork.com right now and post your job for free. That's Upwork.com, Upwork.com to connect with top talent and grow your business today. Thanks for keeping it locked on Wildcats and making this your first listen of the day. Locked on your team every day. And again, this is so we're in our tournament selection. So one thing that I do think is going to be exposed very early is I think there's a lack of. I think the SEC is massively overrated in all of this, and I'm going to continue to stand by this. I watch the SEC, and again, there's some very good teams, but I also think that a lot of these teams are total fool's gold. I watch Missouri. They didn't beat anybody really out of conference. They lose a lot of games, and everyone's like, well, Missouri's really, really good. Or, Vanderbilt or Georgia or teams like that, whatever, man. I think they're all going to go out in the first round. They do, like I said, they do absolutely nothing for me. So that's going to be my take on those teams. Also, it's this time of the year, the Big Ten. Go against the Big Ten because they always underperform in the NCAA tournament. Listen, the Big Ten, they get 10 teams in each year, it seems, and they all get bounced. This is what was it? This is they haven't won in 25 years. I mean, a major conference not winning in 25 years, it's supposedly good. What's going on here? So those are ones obviously that I'm clued in on. And again, the SEC is one though that I'm going to keep an eye on. And again, I don't want to compare the SEC to the Big Ten because the SEC, they got better athletes. I mean, you watch all these Big Ten teams, and they generally have dudes out there that can't move very well. They're slow. Michigan is that exact example. Every time I watch Michigan, they're unathletic. You don't see a lot, and it just kind of is what it is. So there's that. But again, I think Houston's the best team in college basketball, and I think the Big 12 is going to perform incredibly well come tournament time. I think that you watch the Big 12 and all these teams just kind of vibe. They're tough, they're physical, and I think they're built for this. And what's crazy too, this isn't even a banner year for Kansas. But I still think Kansas is going to win a game or two. I don't think they'll probably get past St. John's, but I think Kansas is going to win a game or two. But one thing that you got to remember too is that all of these teams, these are good basketball teams. So anything for most teams second round on, it's game on, and you're vulnerable in a lot of those games. And we've seen it. I mean, heck, we've seen that with Arizona after many, many years where, you get into that second round matchup and it is a life or death situation. And like I said, with a team like Florida going against UConn, that wouldn't necessarily surprise me if that turns out to be the case. So we will see. The other thing, though, that I think is going to be interesting as well is how do some of these teams that don't have a ton of experience, like a St. John's, how are they going to perform? A Texas Tech, Texas Tech, they're battling some injuries, obviously. You need your guys to be healthy. Cooper Flag's a major question mark for Duke, obviously, and Iowa State's without Keyshawn Gilbert. So Keyshawn Gilbert is and that's a massive loss for them. There's no way around it. That is a huge, huge loss, and Iowa State is, I think that limits their horizons because I like them to go pretty far in the NCAA tournament, but not having him is that's a big room. Now, with Arizona, like I said, I think Arizona's going to win a couple games. I could see them beating Duke. I really could if Cooper Flag is hurt. If Cooper Flag's not hurt, then they're not going to beat Duke. But I also think that they're going to perform pretty well. I do. I think Akron is an easy matchup for them. I know Akron shoots a lot of threes. Akron's also super small, and they want to run. That is so I will take my chances if I'm Arizona on that one. And then, like I said, I think Liberty is going to beat Oregon. That's one of my upset specials. That line, I think, is only 4. I've watched Oregon a couple times this year. They don't do a ton for me, so we will see. But overall, Arizona's in a good spot right now, so we will find out how this does play out. But I think Houston's going to be your national champion, and I think that the Big 12 is going to acquit itself very well. All right, now Tomorrow is travel day for me, but we will be doing a show live when we get into Seattle, though. There's going to be a lot of fun stuff going on in Seattle, and we're going to break it from there. But as always, very much appreciate you making Locked On Wildcats your first listen of the day. Locked On, your team every day. We'll be back with you tomorrow. Bear down and back the A, and let's get some victories in Seattle.